Georgia may be famous for peaches and southern charm, but hidden within its borders are towns where your dollar stretches further than you ever imagined. From vibrant college towns to riverfront escapes, these 8 cities might just change the way you think about affordable living. Some of them are so cheap, you'll wonder how they've stayed under the radar this long. If you've been dreaming of lower bills, a bigger home, or simply a lifestyle that doesn't drain your bank account, stick around because this list is full of surprises. But before we start, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're pulling back the curtain, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's dive in. Albany, nestled in southwest Georgia along the Flint River, blends small-town warmth with city-sized amenities. In 2025, its population is about 65,000, making it big enough to support colleges, hospitals, and a regional airport, yet intimate enough that you'll recognize familiar faces downtown. Housing here is one of the city's biggest draws. Zillow data places the typical home value around $113,000 compared to Georgia's statewide average in the mid-300,000s. That's nearly a third of the cost, giving Albany residents an affordable path to homeownership. Lower home prices mean lower mortgages, taxes, and insurance, adding up to substantial savings. Daily expenses are also budget-friendly. Best Places assigns Albany a cost of living index of 72.7, well under Georgia's 94.5 average, making groceries, utilities, and healthcare more affordable. Albany's lower housing demand and its location away from Atlanta's booming job market are key reasons why it remains one of Georgia's cheapest places to live. Macon, often called the heart of Georgia, sits almost exactly in the center of the state and is known for its rich music heritage and cherry blossoms each spring. In 2025, Macon's population is around 156,000, giving it the feel of a bustling mid-sized city while still being more affordable than Atlanta or Savannah. Housing is where the savings stand out. Typical home values hover near $150,000, dramatically under the state's average in the mid-300,000s. That's less than half the Georgia norm, making Macon attractive for first-time buyers or retirees seeking value. The overall cost of living index here sits close to 77, about 18% cheaper than the state average. Groceries, healthcare, and transportation are particularly reasonable. Macon stays affordable because it isn't a booming job growth hub, keeping demand lower while still offering culture, live music, and southern charm that make it feel far richer than the price tag suggests. Down near the Florida line, Valdosta mixes small-town character with college-town energy, thanks to Valdosta State University. In 2025, the city's population is around 56,000, big enough for a lively downtown and a strong sports culture, but still cozy compared to Georgia's larger metros. Housing is a standout bargain. Average home values sit close to $150,000, far under Georgia's mid-$300,000 average. That puts Valdosta in the affordable and growing category, since student demand and military families from nearby Moody Air Force Base add rental and buying activity without skyrocketing prices. The cost of living is about 20% lower than the state average, with particularly affordable housing and utilities. Prices stay reasonable here partly because the local economy is service-based and less tied to Atlanta's economic boom. For anyone seeking mild winters, access to Florida beaches, and a welcoming community, Valdosta remains one of Georgia's cheapest cities. Home of the Masters Golf Tournament, Augusta straddles the Savannah River on Georgia's eastern edge. In 2025, the city's population is around 203,000, making it one of the state's larger hubs, but still far more affordable than Atlanta. Housing is the big draw here. Average home values rest just above $160,000, still well below Georgia's mid-$300,000 average. That's less than half the cost you'd pay in many suburban Atlanta neighborhoods. Daily life is also easier on the wallet, with Augusta's overall cost of living about 15% below the state average. Groceries and transportation costs help keep monthly budgets in check. Affordability here stems from slower population growth and a job market centered on healthcare, the military at Fort Gordon, and local manufacturing, rather than explosive tech-driven demand. For residents, that means you can live in a larger, historically rich city without the financial strain found in Georgia's pricier metros. All right, we're halfway through this list and I want to hear from you. Which of these cities has caught your attention so far? Could you see yourself living in a place like Albany or maybe heading toward the charm of Rome? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm always curious to see which spots stand out to you. And while you're at it, let me know what kinds of videos you'd love to see next. Should we cover the most expensive places in Georgia or maybe the cheapest spots across the entire South? Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. That way, you'll be the first to know when those videos go live. Columbus, hugging the Alabama border and the Chattahoochee River, is a vibrant mix of military, outdoor recreation, and a revitalized downtown. In 2025, Columbus's population is about 207,000, ranking it among Georgia's bigger cities. Yet despite its size, it stays inexpensive compared to statewide averages. Housing is a key advantage with typical home values around $140,000, far below Georgia's mid-$300,000. That affordability extends into the rental market, making it attractive for students at Columbus State University and military families from Fort Moore. Columbus's cost of living index is roughly 22% lower than Georgia's average, keeping food, utilities, and housing particularly budget-friendly. Prices remain low due to a steady military-centered economy rather than rapid tech or finance-driven growth, which keeps real estate demand moderate. Residents enjoy riverfront kayaking, arts events, and one of Georgia's most affordable urban lifestyles, all without the financial pressure of the state's larger metros. Just south of Macon, Warner Robins thrives as a family-friendly, military-centered city with Robins Air Force Base at its heart. In 2025, its population is about 83,000, steadily growing thanks to affordable living and stable employment. Housing remains one of the area's strongest selling points. Average home prices hover near $160,000 compared to Georgia's mid-$300,000s average. That's less than half the state's typical housing cost, keeping monthly mortgages and rents accessible. The cost of living index in Warner Robins is around 80, roughly 15% cheaper than the Georgia average. Utilities and groceries fall below state averages as well, making it ideal for families stretching their dollars. The affordability largely comes from consistent but moderate economic growth tied to the base, which stabilizes demand without causing bidding wars in real estate. Warner Robins combines affordability with strong schools, safe neighborhoods, and a reputation as one of Georgia's most livable cities. Tucked into the rolling hills of northwest Georgia, Rome is known for its historic downtown, medical facilities, and riverfront charm. In 2025, the population is around 38,000, giving it a small city feel with access to good healthcare and colleges like Berry College. Housing prices are strikingly affordable, averaging close to $180,000, far under Georgia's mid-$300,000. That makes Rome an attractive alternative to pricier spots like Metro Atlanta, especially since it's only about an hour-and-a-half drive from the city. The overall cost of living here is about 10 to 15% below the state average, with housing the biggest factor driving savings. Rome stays cheap because it's a smaller market with steady, not explosive demand, and because much of its economy revolves around healthcare and education rather than booming corporate growth. With affordable homes, riverwalks, and mountain views, Rome blends lifestyle and budget in a rare package. Home to Georgia Southern University, Statesboro balances college town energy with the affordability of rural southeast Georgia. In 2025, the population is around 33,000, not counting the student population that doubles the town's energy during the school year. Housing is refreshingly affordable, with average home values near $170,000. Roughly half the statewide average in the mid-$300,000s. Rentals also run cheaper here, thanks to steady student housing supply keeping prices competitive. The cost of living index comes in about 12% lower than the Georgia average, with housing and transportation contributing most to the savings. Statesboro stays inexpensive because demand is tied mainly to the university and regional services, rather than being swept up in Atlanta's growth. That stability keeps housing from spiking. For residents, that means a laid-back, affordable lifestyle with plenty of dining, sports, and cultural events driven by the university, all without big city expenses. So, there you have it, 8 of the cheapest places to live in Georgia, each with its own story, its own lifestyle, and a price tag that just might shock you. Whether you're drawn to the riverbanks of Augusta, the small-town energy of Statesboro, or the steady pace of Warner Robins, one thing's for sure. Georgia has hidden gems where life is not only affordable, but full of possibility. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, share it with someone who's house hunting, and subscribe for more guides to living well without overspending.